Hey, I'm Robert, and this is My Screen Scene. It's a website I created in order to organize my online routine, and it's so practical and useful that I've made it available for free for everyone to use. If I can have just a minute of your time, I can show you what it's for and how it works, and maybe you'll see how this might be of use to you. Now, this is my site just to show you what it looks like once it's all filled in, but let me log out and log into a temporary account that I created. This is what you will be greeted with when you first join. And now keep in mind, this is your website, and whatever you do to this will be saved and made available from wherever you log in next. It'll always remain just like you left it. And this isn't something you're going to spend any time staring at. It's just an application that makes your browser better. So save it as your home page to open when you launch your browser and just forget about it. Now, the first thing you want to do is perform some basic configuration so this works for you. And you'll note that when the page loads right now, the cursor is in a URL field, and say you knew where you were going, you could type in that website address, hit enter, and pow, it shoots the results into a new tab. Everything that My Screen Scene does opens in a new tab, and that's important, become obvious in just a minute. But for now, let's get these search fields into an order that works for you. Say, for example, currently you use Google. You open your browser and it opens to a Google search page. Well, good news, you can keep that and so much more. We're going to hop over to edit mode, and this is where you control everything in My Screen Scene. We're going to focus first on this grid over here of radio buttons, and the numbers 1 through 5 across the top, those columns correspond with the order of these search fields, the URL through YouTube. You see URL has a check in number 1 right now. Let's just focus on Google, put a check in the first column for Google, and when I click update, you'll see Google hop to the top, and when I go back to the home page, there it is. It's always going to be, it'll always load right at the top with the cursor ready for you to perform your search. You can of course put all 5 of those search fields in whatever order that you want, but for now, one other important thing I'm going to point out is if I go straight to Google and I perform the same search, here are the results that I got from searching for My Screen Scene. Here are the search results I got from searching through actual Google site. You'll note that they're the exact same. Only thing that's changing right now are the ads on the side and across the top, but the results are the exact same. You can search with confidence from My Screen Scene and know that you're getting the exact same results as if you had navigated to the search engine itself. Next are the clocks across the top. Let's get those set. Go back to edit mode. There's 4 clocks. Right now it defaults to just 1 being filled. Let's go ahead and fill this next one. Let's say we'll pick a time zone. I've got a friend over in Tokyo that I use for work, and let's just say work contact. And now you can label that whatever you want. Go back to the home page. Now I can see in Tokyo it is actually Friday at 4 o'clock in the morning. So I know now is not a good time for me to try and Skype my buddy or email him and expect any sort of answer. This you can set all 4 clocks to whatever you want and label them whatever you want. Note that the clock on the far right is the only one that's going to have the full date, the day that is, and the seconds. And from there you can extrapolate the information for any of the other clocks. And the reason I did that is just if I put that amount of information into every clock, it just becomes too much eye clutter. And again, plus if it's Friday, you know it's Friday the 11th of October. So moving on, once you have the basics configured, let's go to the heart of My Screen Scene, and that's the ability to save website addresses. Call them bookmarks, whatever, for future access. And this is no matter where you visit from. You don't have to go searching, into your bookmarks or wonder if you've imported them from your other browser or what device you're searching through right now. As long as you can get to My Screen Scene, you can always access what you've saved. And from here, I'm just going to click on some random stuff. Just get somewhere. It doesn't really matter. Let's say this is anything, a news article, anything online that you've come across you want to save for access later. Again, instead of saving it to your bookmarks and to your browser where that's where they're going to remain, and you may be somewhere else one day and want to have access to this, go up to the address bar. I clicked one time in there and I highlighted the entire address. If I hit Control-C on the PC or Command-C on the Macintosh, that will save that address to my clipboard. come back to my screen scene. Remember, everything launches in a new tab, so my screen scene's never going to move. It's always going to be waiting right there for you. Go back into edit mode, and here again is the heart of my screen scene. This is this grid right here full of red X's. These red X's represent empty cells. There's 3 pages worth. All 3 pages are empty right now. Again, this is my test account, so I haven't added anything. If I click on the first X, opens up a little dialog box. From here, I'm going to paste, that's Control V or Command V on the Macintosh, paste my address that I just copied onto the clipboard into the URL field, and then I'll label this whatever you want, doesn't matter. Go back to the home page. Whenever you come back to my screen scene now, you've got a convenient link back to whatever it was that you saved. Now that you have the basics, again, let's move back over to my page, and this will all make a little bit more sense now. I'll log out, and when you log in for the first time, good idea is to check this Remember Me box and then log in. From there on now, as long as you, when you use that browser, when you launch it, it goes straight into my screen scene. You can bypass the login screen from now on. And now you can see what I use my page for. Here's my news. I've got different things organized, my bank account, some other links that I use more often. Page 2, come over and find here some links to my kids' school stuff. Page 3, I'm looking for a job, looking for a date. Here are my bills. At any rate, you get the idea how that's all used. Another feature is this add a note down here at the bottom. If you click on that, you'll notice there's one extra field than there was before. And this allows you to leave not only a link, but notes as well. And you'll find all kinds of uses for this. One way in which I use it, for example, if I'm tracking a package, I'll put the tracking number there, and I'll make the label a link to FedEx. So if I double click on that, that'll select my tracking number. Control C to put it on the clipboard, Command C on the Macintosh. Then hop over to FedEx and paste it right there in the tracking field. I can keep track of my packages and where they are. Again, that's just one use. You'll find all kinds of uses. Notice I'm keeping in touch with the NFL and the Broncos. You can reorder these as well. So if that were the most important and I wanted to see that at the top, there it is. Delete it when you're done. And finally, there's one other feature I threw in here just for fun, and that is if you go over to edit mode, you may have noticed this little splash of color to the right. And if you select a different color scheme, there's spring, for example. Sometimes the winters here in Colorado get a little bit long, so I like to have a splash of color to greet me while it's snowing and snowing and snowing, and I can't get on my mountain bike, but that's a whole nother thing. I hope you found this tutorial useful and you'll give my screen scene a try. Honestly, the biggest satisfaction I can get out of this is to see other people discover how convenient it is and appreciate its practicality. So I hope you've enjoyed. Thanks for watching.